After dominating the world of MMA, Dana White is plotting to take his talents to boxing in a major way. The UFC CEO's first love was boxing, and he's oftentimes flirted with the idea of making a move to taking over the ring. He was heavily involved in one of the sport's biggest ever fights in 2017 when Conor McGregor faced Floyd Mayweather and has since fallen in and out of the sport. During a Q&A with fans and media in Dublin, Dana White noted how he expects to become further involved with boxing. He has previously toyed with the idea of launching Zuffa Boxing, an offshoot of the UFC's old parent company Zuffa LLC, and media credentials for this week's events bore the name brand. Dana went on to say, "There will be some big announcements soon. Let me tell you, if you know anything about me and look at anything I've ever said, I've never say anything that I don't do ever. I've never said anything like that. We've been kicking around the whole boxing thing around for a long time, but you've never heard me commit and say I'm in. Well, I'm in." When asked about the involvement that Turki Al-Sheikh, the renowned Saudi Arabian, would have in the future of the sport, White remained coy. The pair worked together last weekend on UFC 306 at the Sphere in Las Vegas, with Riyadh season branding all over the event.
I've noticed a couple of things, like when we got our credentials, this was a Zuffa Boxing was involved. Obviously you're working with 360. You just mentioned the work with the Warrens, not working with Bob Arum. What are your plans in boxing, and how much will Turki Al-Sheikh influence those?
I'm HBO. I guess that's the way I would look at it. I'm going to be, he is the promoter. His matchmakers make the fights. And, obviously bringing a fight to Ireland is very expensive. It's expensive to leave the country and do fights like this. So I'll always figure out a way to pay for it. I guess that's the best way I could describe it.
Do you plan to be involved in boxing more going forward?
Yeah.
Fighter pay will forever be an ongoing issue. Whether you agree with it or you're against it, someone will speak up. And since arriving in combat sports as a boxer, Jake Paul has notably gone after the UFC and its CEO Dana White, requesting they increase their fighter pay to higher margins. And once that change is made, Jake Paul says he will be happy.
The only thing I've really asked for is for the minimum fighter pay, which is $12,500, to be changed to $50,000, so that if fighters who have to work multiple jobs, if they fight once a year, even, they would still be able to live off of that. And if it was twice a year, they'd make $100,000, which is great. So, but now if they're fighting once a year, it's like $12,500, or twice a year would be $25,000. So that's been my only ask to Dana to change, and that would only cost the UFC $20 million annually. So it seems like, oh, you made $3-4 billion. Why not just give a little bit more to the fighters? It's only $20 million. That's been my biggest thing of like, make that change and I'll shut the fuck up. But yeah, it's definitely like, I could talk about all the intricate details about this shit all day long, but sure. It's like, definitely when I started talking about this, that's when Dana White was like, oh, Jake Paul does steroids, Jake Paul's fights are rigged, Jake Paul this, Jake Paul that. So he's the one that like started all the personal rumors, Jake Paul doesn't sell, Jake Paul won't fight Anderson Silva. Like, he's has been the biggest voice of oppression to me, because I'm the only one literally in the whole entire fight business who can talk back to him, there's probably 4 people who can, but I'm the only one who has the balls to do it.
John Wood, the coach of Khalil Roundtree, shares a bold prediction for his fighter's upcoming title defense against Alex Pereira.
Having said that, and you're right, a fight can go anywhere, so you don't know where it's going, but I think with Merab, it probably looked about what you thought it would be, like slight bursts of chaos and Merab doing what he does. With this one, it just seems like almost the exact opposite, dude. It's going to have 2 guys. Khalil has already said, and people say this and then we see what happens in the fight, but he's like, I'm not going to shoot a takedown on him. Like, what do you think is it fair for people to think, like, I picture this fight and I see 2 guys standing in front of one another and not really maybe throwing a ton of combinations, but throwing dangerous sniping shots at one another. Like, is it as simple as that? Like, that's the fight?
In a nutshell, yes. I believe, honestly, my gut, I think Pereira shoots on Khalil. I think he's the one that breaks game first and shoots on Khalil to try to get that takedown, because that's actually something he's done. I mean, we ain't shooting over here, I can tell you that. Like, Khalil can. It's not like we don't train MMA. It's not like he doesn't train wrestling defense, all these things. I'm always very big on, you better know how to do something to be able to stop something. So if you've never shot a double leg, how the hell are you going to know how to stop it, what it is, what's coming at you? So I always make the fighters, no matter what you are, if you're a great striker, you better know what the wrestling dynamic is, what those things are, because you got to be able to see them coming. And if you've never done a double leg, like, and someone blasts double leg, you're like, oh my God, what was that? You know, so you have to be prepared to drill for those things. I think Alex shoots first, but yeah, I do think, I've said this multiple times, I would be shocked if this fight goes 5 rounds. I mean, someone is going out on the shield. It's gonna happen, and obviously, I think I know who it is in my camp, in my go. That I truly feel, I believe that we got the live dog in the camp, and I think that if we lose this fight, it'll be one of those, oh, geez, I didn't see that coming. Can we lose the fight? Of course, anybody can lose the fight. This is a game of inches, especially at this level. And we are fighting the world's best. But like I said, I really love how this lines up for us to have a jaw-dropping performance out there.
It's going to determine when Conor comes back. You know, he hit me up last night when he heard that I was here, and he's in New York right now, and he is training.
Conor McGregor is now training for a return to the octagon, and it appears that he's heading towards finally fighting next year. That's according to UFC CEO Dana White, who is currently in the Irishman's hometown of Dublin, where he's promoting a boxing event. He won't be joined by McGregor at the show, telling media that the former 2-weight world champion is back in training while on his travels in New York.
So just quickly, obviously the Conor fight is something people are interested in. Is the winner of Chandler and Oliveira the opponent, or are you looking at maybe a new opponent?
Is the winner of who?
Chandler and Oliveira.
It's going to determine when Conor comes back who the opponent is. Whenever Conor is ready and he comes back, you know, he hit me up last night when he heard that I was here, and he's in New York right now, and he is training, so.
Chael Sonnen believes that Conor McGregor is no longer interested in a UFC comeback after Michael Chandler's new fight booking.
I don't know what to make of Conor. We're looking foolish at this point by continuing to act as though he's going to come back. The truth is, the night that he went down broken in 2 by Dustin Poirier, it was unlikely he was going to return. When he got other opportunities, selling the whiskey brand, fighting himself in movies with Jake Gyllenhaal, it was unlikely that Conor was going to return. When he got a stubbed pinky toe that may or may not be broken and may or may not belong to him, and he walked away from a press conference in his hometown and did not show up for the match on June 29th, it was unlikely that Conor was going to return. I mean, listen, let me stop right there, because even baseball tells you 3 strikes and you're out. At some point, we all got to accept this and move on.
You know what I love? It's finally, Chael. Finally, you're ready to admit that you're not falling for the stuff anymore. It's over. Like, I get it. I'm not saying he's done. I'm just saying that at this point, there's no reason to continue with all the information. Chael, before we got to guess, we had guess after guess after guess as to what he would do based on not much outside of him every 6 to 7 months going, I'm back. Now we have information. Now we have proof that he's had opportunities to come back, and it does not seem like he's all that interested in it. It feels like, to me, Chael, he says, I'm back, starts to prepare for being back. And then when the chance comes, something happens. Then when Michael Chandler moves on, or the UFC decides to move on, he throws a bit of a fit to really re-inject himself into the conversation of, I'm coming back. Right now, we need to move on from what Conor McGregor is doing, because there's no real proof or truth to the fact that he's going to fight. Michael Chandler is now leading what we all should do. Let's go forward. Maybe it took us a while to get here, but now we're here. Let's move on.
The good news is we're back to dueling Instagram skits as Merab and O'Malley continue to antagonize each other over the results of their UFC 306 championship fight.
I'm back! Just rewatched the fight. I won round 1, 3, and 5. Fuck you, Merab. You're still a bitch. I'm the champ and still undefeated, defending my belt in June or July against Umar Nurmagomedov in Las Vegas. I'm the champ and still...
you, bro? Why you keep smoking, my friend? I thought you was just sleeping now. It's a sleep time for you, bro. Come on, bro. Listen, son, don't worry about this Umar Nurmagomedov. I will take care of Umar. You're not a champion anymore, and I'm gonna take belt from you again. So you drive safe, son. Let's go, Sean. No more smoke. No more smoke. See you. Bye. Drive safe, okay?
If you are what you say you are, a superstar.
Former UFC welterweight champion and Hall of Famer Matt Serra knows a thing or two about coaching. The Serra Longo fight team has been one of the most underrated fight teams over the years, producing several unheralded champions. The latest to join the mix is Georgia's machine, Merab Dvalishvili, who dethroned the now former bantamweight kingpin Sean O'Malley. When assessing his opposing coach's performance, Serra thought Tim Welch did a poor job, to put it mildly.
And let me tell you about that Tim Welch. I know you had like some stuff with him, but this fight exposed him as a coach. Because when your guy is winning and knocking people out, sure, you look like a fucking hero. When your fucking fighter is obviously losing the fight and he started losing rounds, Tim Welch was like not wanting to hurt his feeling. Okay, good round. No, you're losing fucking 3 rounds. You got to get in his ass. You got to say, you got to put this. He was afraid that he did not know how to handle his guy from that many rounds. And I thought his fucking corner work was shit. So that's just me saying it. So he exposed himself in that. You took care of business, and Tim Welch had no answers for his fighter.
Now let's take a look at the top 3 comments left on yesterday's video. At Fetty Main says, so Aspinall is calling anyone that Jones wants to fight an easy fight? Stipe an easy fight? Aspinall is talking about John Jones' ego. Ha 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 ha. Who was the one with the ego? John is a killer when he wants to be, man. Undefeated. The only loss was because of an illegal elbow. Ha ha ha. John Jones is a true soldier in every way you can imagine. If he goes bones, you're toast. Even on a bad day, he will murder you if the situation would allow it. At Stephen Callan says, Aspinall will wreck Bones Jones. And at Stick9758 says, I do not believe what is being said. No highlights or ongoing conversation about Aspinall other than about Jones. Jones is actually what we are talking about. Don't forget that. If you want your comments read on tomorrow's video, simply comment down below. We'll highlight the top 3 comments, good, bad, or indifferent, and feature them in tomorrow's video. And that does it all for today's video, but make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell notification so you can get notified every time we release a new video. And in case you missed it, check out yesterday's news.